What's going on, guys? I'm in here just chatting up. Just bear with me here. Get my shit together. Yeah. Uh, is it, Goldberg here in a minute. What's going on? What's going on, Eban? What's going on, man? Just trading with everybody around. See, we're kind of overextended a little bit here, so we're pulling back a little bit. We're pulling back a little bit. Everything's looking good right now, though. If you follow me on Twitter, I've already put in my trade for the day. And so far, so good. Everything that we talked about on the show is going to plan, man. Everything we talked about is going to plan. I told you about this extension, right? I put out that video. It's the only video I put out that was not a live stream since I've been back. Because I was so in belief that this pullback that happened in Davos when he, just before he went to Davos about, oh, we want Greenland, that was full of shit. That was just an opportunity to get his friends in at a lower price. We're going higher, folks. The DXY told you that. We're at a 4-year low for DXY. Yes, sir. What's going on, Big Onk? We're at a 4-year low for the DXY. Okay? We're at a 4-year low. If you follow me on Twitter, I also posted yen yesterday. I need y'all to look at that too. Yeah. The Chinese stocks is going hard, boy. The Chinese stocks is going hard. Shout out to yen, man. Shout out to yen. Now, this is a leverage play now. This is a leverage play. But I got into yen yesterday. Okay, but we're a little overextended on that, but that's going to come back down a little bit. But, man, this is all in now. This is all in. We headed, boom. We headed for new highs. This market is headed for new highs. And it's headed higher for all really the wrong reasons. I mean, the fact that, this cheaper dollar theory that Trump is running on, and it's going to kill a lot of people who aren't in the markets. It's going to kill a lot of people who aren't in the markets. They're going to watch their dollars seem to not be able to buy what it used to be able to buy. You know what I'm saying? USAR cooked me, lost to Iraq. USAR. What was USAR? I gave you USAR? USAR. God damn. USAR. Hey, I wouldn't. This is actually an entry point right here. Where did you buy? Where did you buy? See, I use Keltner channels to determine a low risk entry point. I never want to buy outside the Keltner channels. I typically want to buy between the first two moving averages in the Keltner channel, right? You always want to look for a low risk entry point in any stock that you buy. The stock is doing very, very well, Big Onk. So if I'm you, if you've got time, if you got an option and you got time, I would stay in that stock, man. I know I didn't give you this because I don't know what the hell this is. But when we talk about rare earth plays, I would stay in this, man. You're down a little bit, but I'd stay in this. Okay? I'd stay very much in this play. Let me look at the dollar. God damn, I should have closed the blinds. Yeah, you're above the 50 and 100. See, you're just overextended. Wherever you bought at, here's the daily chart. See, this is too high risk. I'm not buying outside the Keltner because this is what you expect to happen. I always want to buy inside the channel, right? Now that it's pulled back in the channel here, I'd have to see if this is support or if it comes back down a little bit. Then I'd love to, get a piece of it here. But this is kind of what you expect to happen when you buy outside the channels. All right, they can continue to run. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some stocks can continue to run when they get out the channel. For example, if you look at GLD, right? You look at gold. You look at, but the law, right? The law of finance will eventually bring that thing right back into the channel, and that's your low risk entry point, and that's where I like to buy. Okay, I like to buy inside the Keltner channels. You got in around 26, then yeah. I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't rush to run out of here just yet, man. This is a stock that I'm almost guaranteed to tell you that this is going to be a much more expensive stock, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, than where it is now. Okay. So we're looking really good, man. Everything's looking really good. Everything's looking really good for this market. And I wouldn't run out of this thing just yet. Okay. I wouldn't run out of yet. We got to pull back in silver, I think I saw earlier. Oh, damn, no. Actually, no. All these silver stocks, gold stocks, just set it and forget it. You know, I've been talking about GAU on my show because, again, GAU, low risk entry point, right? Since I've been back, I just love how it's just slowly climbing, climbing. 2 cents here, 3 cents here, 4 cents there. That's what I like to see of these small penny stocks. Great company where that increase in gold prices is hitting that bottom line. That's what you like to see, nice and steady as we climb up. All right, but some people have jumped in. Good for you. Uh, Nvidia's looking really good again. Nvidia's looking really good again. This is what I've been wanting to see with Nvidia because that was a strong resistance area for Nvidia. Okay, it's been a strong resistance area for Nvidia as it tries to get back up to higher highs. If we break above Nvidia here, I definitely want to start selling those 185s going out 1 month, 2 months, 3 months out. I'd sell those 185s for sure if we close above this red area right here. Okay. We close above. I'd love if we can break out to like 192, 193. I'd love to go out to like 180, 185 and sell those, a bull put spread, bull call spread for 185 or 180 going out like 90 days. That would be a nice moneymaker. Bought off the fact that the government invested in it, but it went up, splattered back down, and I was on margin. Okay. Understandable, understandable, understandable. Everything's looking good, though. Other than that, my calculator gave me a really good trade for the day, which was to sell QQQ 631s against the 627s. That's my software put out that for me. So that's so far looking good, holding really well, and I see the gains coming in. I see the gains coming in. But man, this is man. This triangle played out beautifully. This triangle played out beautifully. You know, we love it. We love it. We love it. So let me know what you guys are looking at. We can just take a look at what you guys are looking at. Let's take a look at what you guys are looking at. But so far, so good. And I'm loving it, folks. I'm loving it. I am not complaining at all about any of these stocks. that are running right now. They're looking really good, really healthy. Everything is looking great, man. I can't complain about anything on the market right now. A little overextended, but it's okay. Let's go down to a 15 minute. Yeah, here's the 15 minute. All right, everybody's kind of waiting just to, nobody really wants to buy too high. Nobody really wants to buy too high, and that's fine. Okay, here's the 15 minute. Okay, here's the SPY, looking really good. SPY's looking really, really good. Yeah, this one is holding actually really well. SPY's looking really good. Qs are extended right now because tech is going super hot right now. But I'm definitely on my mean reversion right now and selling QQQs. Got a bull call spread on QQQ right now. URG. Let's take a look. URG. Okay, small cap. Small cap right now. URG. All right, the monthly looks all right. But it's not the prettiest chart in the world, I must say. But, on balance volume looks good. So we've got some new volume coming in there. Okay. Not the prettiest chart in the world, but yeah, man, this is what you want to see. Increasing volume coming into the stock, right? You need that increasing volume level just to maintain those higher prices. So far, so good, right? Very healthy rise, looking really good. So URG looks really good. I like this idea of these rare earth plays, particularly if they've got exposure to some of those nice countries like in Africa or Southeast Asia, places where you're not going to get like that China risk too drastic. Or South America. Yeah, preferably South America. I'll take South America over Southeast Asia. But so far, so good, man. FXI. All right. Basically everything Brazil. Brazil's another one that's taken off. I was looking at Brazil last week, but man, I don't know much about a lot of these Brazilian companies to go heavy. But right now, you've got a lot of money going into these foreign national stocks, particularly now that the dollar is where it is. You want to go to these smaller developing nations because now a cheap dollar means, hey, they buying U.S. products. That means their citizens can buy more, right? Can buy more. Okay. So everybody's playing into that right now, and it's working. You know, what does it look like when you no longer have U.S. dollar hegemony? You know what I'm saying? And now you live in a multipolar world where you have multiple strong nations with decent financials, great customer base, right? That are intelligent, make good money. You see what's going on in gold now. People are saying we don't really need the U.S. dollar like that. You know, and it's not that nobody trusts the dollar. It's just the fact that like everybody else got other things that are more exciting. They got a younger population. They've got population growth. They've got a lot of things going for them. And America doesn't have a lot of things going for ourselves right now. And that's the thing a lot of people don't want to be honest about. We don't really have a lot of good things going for us right now. Our population is old, okay? By 2030, we're going to have 73 million Americans who are going to be over the age of 65. 73 million Americans over the age of 65 in 4 years, right? Of those 73 million, 33 million are over the age of 75, right? So you've got to ask yourself, where is America going to get the money to pay 24 to 27% of its population, right? Social Security every single month. The money isn't there. The money isn't there. In fact, if you go to the Social Security website and you log in and you're under the age of 50, it'll tell you the system, you may not even be eligible to earn the money that you've been paying in because there's no money that it's going to be bankrupt. Okay? So people are prioritizing. This is something that, smart money has been prioritizing for a long time. They're ahead of the game. They're ahead of the game. They've already been in the gold. White folks, if you had that old uncle who was investing in gold and silver 20, 25 years ago, he should have been at the head of the table of every dinner because he was spot on. And he's laughing to the bank. You know, where are we going to get the money? I'd love Trump to talk about that. And Trump's not talking about the real problems. We've got some serious issues when it comes to Social Security and other entitlements in this country. Where are you going to get the money to pay these people? All of this Social Security. These boomers are draining this nation. They are draining this nation. They don't want to admit it. You know, they definitely don't want to admit it because, I mean, all it is basically taking the hard work of younger people and giving it to people who honestly don't need the money because they had the best 50 years of the United States had ever seen. Some of them need the money. Don't get me wrong. We got some folks that really, they just whatever reason, they didn't invest, they didn't get a higher-end job, they didn't go to school, whatever. But the overwhelming majority of people over 65 in this nation, they've got huge retirement accounts. They do not need that extra $3,000 to $4,000 that's coming to them every month. You know, the crazy part is that they've been told people that Social Security wasn't going to be around during Obama's terms. Oh, they were planning for that. There were conversations. There were conversations around it. You know, but I can tell you right now, it's not going to be around when I'm 65. Because I don't see where their money comes from. It's not going to be around when I'm 65. That's a given. If you're still in your 30s, bro, you're not getting Social Security. And if you really think you are, you're going to have to explain to me where the money's going to come from when your government is $38 trillion in debt today. That's not when you are 65. That's today. And every dollar they print is already debt. Okay, here's MSFT. Microsoft pulling back a little bit. Microsoft's got a big problem with OpenAI, by the way. OpenAI is burning like $12 million a day that I read, and they need more money. And then these Chinese LLMs are kicking their ass. Go look at what Kimi 2.1 put out today. I think it was yesterday. They released something that's outperforming OpenAI in certain aspects, right? And they're spending like a quarter of the cost. A quarter of the cost. Then they've got the uh, lawsuit from Elon Musk. He's asking for $143 billion. It's OpenAI is in some trouble, man. OpenAI is in some trouble. You know, I am looking to open up a position in Google because I did see a big baller Nancy Pelosi open up a position in Google. So that means I definitely want to go long. I want to go long anything she's going long. Nancy Pelosi is long Google. She opened up, I want to say, a $12 million position, according to that account that I follow, Nancy Pelosi stock tracker. Nancy Pelosi stock tracker opened up a beautiful position in Google. So you definitely want to open that position and see what and follow her along because she's been doing incredibly well. It's so crazy because when I started trading in 2013, 2014, no one would have ever thought like we should be following congressmen in their trades. No one even thought like that. Like, I don't even think, in hindsight, I don't even think people even followed Congress and their trades. They put it back up, I remember, before they kept shutting it down. What's going on, Kenobi? Proker Pro, what's going on? Appreciate having you, man. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Yes, indeed. Poker Pro back on. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us and stopping by. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's still up there if you're talking about the account, the Pelosi trading account. Pelosi tracker. They're like 4 or 5 accounts now. If you just type in Pelosi tracker, trade with Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi stock tracker, all of that. Unless you're talking about something else, but Senator Kate Britt just opened up a position in J.P. Morgan. That 20 years has stricter laws on trading. Yeah, it's crazy. God damn, Nancy Pelosi's up 226% all time. How is Nancy Pelosi even still in Congress? Is she still in Congress? That's crazy. She's so damn old. Yeah, let me get you the ticker name. Can I copy this? I can copy this. Yeah, there you go. I'll get you the ticker name. All right. And if you're not already, guys, follow me on X, Tracking Market X, where I post my trades. Okay, where I post my trades and other commentary, stocks that I'm following. All right. Tracking Market X. All we're doing is tracking the market, folks. Tracking the market. Google's looking really good. Microsoft's looking good. SNDK, man, I just want an entry. Please give me an entry. SNDK. My God, this stock just keeps going. Can I get a fucking entry, man? Just get just get back right here. Get in here and I'll be more than happy to go on for the ride, but this thing keeps going up. Fuck. But I'm not breaking my rules. I'm at an age now where I don't break my rules for anybody. I'm at an age now where I don't break my rules for FOMO. But man, SNDK is looking good. Looking so good. SNDK, MU. Don't be fearful of the Chinese. The Chinese went ahead and created their own memory company about like a decade ago now, and that company is now really, it's got a good amount of the market share of the market in China, but they'll never be allowed to be able to sell here. So it's a mute point when I hear, well, the Chinese got their own memory companies. Well, it's not going to come here. It's not going to come here. So what's your point? If you're building a data center in America, you're not using Chinese memory. I'm telling you that right now. So I don't want to hear it. But China is a big market, though, so you can't ignore it. You can't ignore it because China is a big market. You know, in America, you're
China
not
is a
using
very
Chinese
big
memory.
market.
So I don't want to
Let me
hear it.
see it.
All right. All right. Looking really good, folks. Looking really good. Market still holding up very nicely. Okay, Q's is pulling back a little bit, but holding really strong, man. We're gonna find a low here soon. Maybe 633. I think 633 holds today. I can see 633 holding today, but all I wanted was this. This is all I wanted. Once I saw that, I knew we had to go with it. I knew we had to go with it. And shout out to everybody who's been following me since I got back, man. This is all we were looking for to give us all the confidence to see that, it was going to continue on. All right. The good times were going to continue on. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. You know? Absolutely. Let's see here. Barrick Mining. Let's take a look. 2 hour chart. Barrick Mining is one that's again going just doing this thing quietly, just doing this thing. This is one of those another one of those precious metal companies that just you know going to work, not fancy. It's not Newmont. Let's take a look. Okay, very quiet company. Been doing this thing since 1983. All right, just doing this thing, man. $52 stock right now. I love the pullback back into the low risk entry point. Let's take a look. We're just above that actually, so I wouldn't say that. Looks like at the beginning of the year you had your entry there at 43, but we were right in the top of the Keltner channels ever since and doing very well. Boy, look at that breakout. Look at that breakout. This is where you really want to catch stocks when they kind of break out a multi-year resistance level. So it broke out a multi-year resistance level back in August of 2025. That's really kind of where you want to catch these stocks. And that's why I'm building this calculator because, this app, because that's where you kind of want to catch these stocks that, have a 52-week high that that goes back over, let's say, 3 years. And how close is the current price to whatever that 52-week high is? And if we're within, 10%, within 15%, I want to be notified. I want to be notified. Why isn't there a fucking app that tells you when a stock is approaching its 52-week high within 20%? Most of these brokers will not, unless you find the stock itself and put it in there. It's not gonna, you'll never know. There should be an app that scours, you know, the environment and finds it and brings it to you. Somebody go create that shit. Somebody go create that shit. Now that we have AI, then I should be able to get a text message on my phone. XYZ stock is within 25% of 52-week high. 52-week high extended for 3 years. You know that's common sense. Let's keep it going, man. MOBX. Yeah, oh man, semiconductors. I mean, if it's a semiconductor stock and 22 cents, there's something materially wrong here with this company. There's something materially wrong here with this company. So I would try to figure out what's going on. But a company that is in so-called semiconductors and trading for 22 cents, there's something very, very wrong with this with this stock right now. Like it's really down bad. It's really down bad. You think Robinhood has something similar? I'll look into it. I haven't opened up Robinhood app in a long time. Let's see here. I'm showing my age, but there used to be a company called Juniper that was a hot stock a long time ago in IT. Visa. Nope. All right, nice pullback on Carvana. That's Carvana's a stock that I still don't understand why it's running so fucking hard with interest rates the way they are right now. And it's just crossed below my potential sell signal because I was looking to short Carvana, and we just dipped below that 447. I needed to close under there, and I'd love to enter a small short in Carvana because I think this is coming down like back to the 200s. I think Carvana could be coming back down to the 200s, but right now just paying attention. CVNA. I just got an alert for it, so that's why I pulled it up. Just got an alert. Yeah, Kenobi back when yeah, man. I talked about that the other day, man. Wasted so much time trading those penny stocks, wasted so much money, and I don't want to get back into it, man, because it depresses me when I talk about my penny stock days. But that's what got me here. That's what got me most of my audience, what most of you guys were attracted to, and I appreciate that. And it's the reason why, I don't have 300 people in here, is because I built my platform talking about stocks that are less than a dollar. But, at the end of the day, man, you got to, you can't be a degenerate all your life. You know what I'm saying? You got to actually go out here and make trades that actually generate alpha over a long period of time. Can't be taking 30 trades and only one pans out. And then once you do the math and you're like, shit, the 29 trades that I took that didn't work. If I would have put that on, AMD or Nvidia or, you know, real companies that do real things, I'd be way better off. I would have been way better off. Uh, Big Anka, you talking about Carvana? Carvana in 2023. Remember, Carvana? There was a point in time where we thought Carvana was going broke. We thought Carvana wasn't going to survive COVID. That Carvana wasn't going to survive COVID because interest rates were so low and, competition and, they weren't going to survive. They weren't going to survive. But look, I can see Carvana's now fighting back that because they know where they need to be. They know they need to stay above 447 because you get below that support area and now you're looking at 400s. It's staring right at you. Let me put on my other indicator. Yeah, it's staring right at you. This one's actually telling needs to break 419. Carvana's a good short, good potential for a put. What you been trading though, Poker Pro? If you're still in here, what you been trading? King Ross is another stock that I put in my. King Ross pulled back a little bit today, but it's another stock that I brought to you guys. I think at 46 or so. Now at 51. Just the other day. No position. Just love the way this miner is just. All of these miners are doing really, really good. GDX is the ETF for these small miners. Right? Again, doing really, really good. GDX at 110. I could not believe GDX is at 110 right now. That's crazy. I remember looking at GDX here 2024 in the 40s. Looking really good right now. Shout out to GDX. Looking really good. Checked out the indexes right now. Again, I do have a position right now in SPY. I've had this one since Monday. I have this one since Monday. Let me pull it up. I don't like to follow it on the computer. Is it crazy my win rate is higher when I trade on my phone and my computer? And I put my orders on my phone than when on computer. This is crazy. But it was just like little things like that that I just had noticed over the years. So for the SPY, on Monday I sold the 691s against the 660s. Oh, 691. Oh, two trades. Yeah, two trades. Sold 691 against the 690s. Sold 691, bought 690. And then I have a trade going out till February where I'm selling 660 and I bought the 650s. And this is in SPY. This is in SPY. Okay. I do have a position in FCX. I do have a position in FCX. And this is a leap option where I am selling the $80 calls and buying the $100 calls. And I got that one going until January of next year. I think FCX is a long-term play. QQQ, I got a QQQ trade. Again, I posted that today where I'm selling 631 against 627. It might not be any meat on that trade right now, but a lot of people don't know that you can zero DTE QQQ and SPY. No one thinks about doing that. They all want to do SPX or NDX, which is fine. I mean, I get it, but you can't do you don't always want to commit that much capital. You got massive puts in KRE. Why is that familiar? Very familiar to me. Oh, the banks? Okay. Massive. Okay, what's your thesis around that, Poker Pro? What's your thesis around selling KRE? Is it crypto related or what's your thesis around that? Lower interest rates once Powell is gone, right? The guy who's expected to replace Powell, he was on TV, he was on CNBC, I want to say 2 nights ago, and he's a Trump lackey. You can tell he's gonna do whatever Trump wants him to do. Powell is out in April, so yeah, I mean I could see your if that's your thesis. I mean if that's where your head is at, but yeah, it's going to be a really exciting year for trading, man. I think Trump is going to have the economy, not the economy, but the stock market he dreams of. But I just don't see it helping ordinary people because ordinary people don't trade stocks. Ordinary people unfortunately don't trade stocks. You know, ordinary people unfortunately are not financially astute enough to realize they've got to, fight back against the consumerism mentality and actually try as hard as possible to buy less and invest more. You know what I'm saying? You don't need a new phone, bro. Fuck a new phone. Go to Walmart. Go get your ass on one of those. You don't need a fucking new phone, bro. You know what I mean? Motorola's putting out phones right now, you know, that can do basically everything an iPhone can do. You don't need the highest and best. You don't need to be, having somebody bill you every single month. Pay your phone outright. If you can go get yourself a phone cash, get it cash. Go get on one of these $25 a month plans, unlimited everything, right? I use US Mobile. You know what I'm saying? Unlimited everything. 30 something dollars a month. Fast as hell. You got to find ways to not let that consumerism blood sucking vampire take you out. I drive a cash car. You know what I mean? I don't want a car note. For what? You're going to come out with the same shit next year. You know? Lower rates and commercial real estate liquidation. Oh, okay. Commercial real estate liquidation. Okay. I see your point. I see your point. Commercial real estate is a problem. It is a problem. It has been a problem since COVID. Um, okay. I see where your thoughts are on that, and I definitely hope that works out. I definitely hope that works out. I'll be watching that closely. Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, the thought process around it, and you're gonna have to be patient for it. You're definitely gonna have to be patient for it, because I think the breaks really start happening. Well into the summer is probably where you start seeing the breaks happen. And some people even theorize what's happening in silver. What's happening in silver is a large financial institution that's short, that got caught, on the wrong side of the trade, and that's kind of what we see going on in silver right now. Some people are theorizing. That's a theory, that there are large financial institutions that are on the wrong side of silver and gold right now, and something is breaking, and we're just not aware of it yet. Because when I look at this chart, this looks like somebody who is short and has a lot of fucking money was forced or is being forced to buy in. Is it just me or what? Because that's what I see when I look at this. Because you remember when the meme trade was going on, and they were like, "Yeah, you can't community pool into silver. Silver's so big. Silver's so big. You can't move a market that big." Okay, well, what are we doing now? Look at this now. And this is what, 3 months? This is 3 months. This is large, massive capital. All right. So time will tell if I'm putting on the tinfoil kufi on right now, but time will tell where we might have something bigger out there happening, and we all just completely aloof. And sure enough, there's somebody somewhere at a desk wondering if he should jump a bridge right now. All right, I'm not even paying attention to the Fed right now at all. I'm watching. I got Bloomberg on the back of me right now, but I'm not even paying attention to the Fed or anything they got to say right now, because I know everybody's just waiting for this guy to get out of there. You know, so Trump can put his lackey in there. He's going to do whatever he tells him to do. which is print, 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 print. You know it. I know it. Okay. All right, let me take a look at some of the other stocks you've been looking at. TLT. All right. TLT is an interest rate play. For those of you guys who don't know, this is a play on interest rates. All right. So obviously bonds aren't paying shit right now. So, uh, oh no, it's like treasury bonds. Yeah, treasury bonds aren't really paying much right now. Let's see here. KRE, it's in, you said silver. Okay, we looked at silver. AVGO. This is Broadcom. Okay, got some profit taken in Broadcom. Got some profit taken in Broadcom right now. Stock has been struggling for the last couple months, but there's AVGO trying to find some support here. AVGO trying to find some support. Hope they find it. Let me see here, Baba. All right. Hey, you guys got to look at Baba, man. I was telling you those Chinese stocks is running again, man. I'm telling you. You know, got to look at Baba, bro. God damn, I just, God, bro. On December 1st, we was at 150. Fucking God, man. Still looking good though. Still looking very good. Let's see here. I'm just curious what the options trade for on Baba. Because I know they're not. It's not the. It's not an expensive stock. Pull out this option chain real quick on Baba. Let's go out. Let's go out 51 days to March 20th. And let's look at 150. Okay, they're not bad. They're not that bad. Those options are not that bad. So I just put out kind of the trade that I would like on Baba, the March 20th, 2026, selling the 155s against the 150s. This is on call. This is a bull call spread. All right, gives me nice distance in between the current price action and my break even. Of course, my break even would be 153. For $400, I net 100. 400 risk to net 100. It's actually not that bad. All right, so 4 for 1. Those are the kind of trades I like. They're higher probability, and I don't need to. Let's see, and that's just one contract, by the way, too. That's one contract. You know, so when I tell people you can start trading for less than $100, I mean less than $500, some people are like, "Oh, I don't know." Well, yes, you can. You can start, and your first trade can be a winning trade. All right, give me $500. I'll put $100 in your account here. by the end of the month, particularly if the stock keeps going higher. Then you can close your position out early. That's actually a really good trade, by the way. And you don't even have to go that far out to 150. You come in a little bit, even 160. Well, maybe not 160. I'll stay probably 150. But where's support at? Yeah, I'd probably stay at 150. I'd stay, yeah, because I mean, what the trade I just mentioned is you staying and selling, you know, doing a bull call spread from 150. So pullbacks can happen, but this looks very, very healthy. It looks very healthy, guys. All right, we're pulling back a little bit. Pulling back a little bit, which is expected completely in Qs. Pulling back a little bit. We opened up very aggressively with a gap. So I don't believe we fill the gap, but even if we did, there's nothing wrong with that. I think we don't fill the gap today, that's for sure. I don't think so. Mm-mm-mm-mm. All right, we fill the gap in SPY. We filled the gap in SPY. What are the tickers you guys are looking at? Fill me in the chat room. We'll take a look. I don't want to just talk about my trades, so fill me in. I don't want to just talk about my trades. My 195. Let's see here. 695 is holding stronger than I thought it would. Makes you surprised how vigorous the market is right now. Do I ever think SPY will split? Is there an alternative? Um, a reverse split on SPY is unlikely. Or we mean forward split on SPY is unlikely. Okay, hold on. God damn. There are alternatives. There are alternatives. Hold on. SPYM. Yeah, SPYM. But the volume is actually pretty decent too. I'm actually surprised. The volume is actually decent. Yeah, Dark Kermit, SPYM. That's the. I looked at it a couple years ago as well. Yeah, it's predominantly for kind of like long-term investors, and you know who care more about like fees and stuff like that, and you don't really need you know 30 million shares being traded a day. So that's why it's got just about under 2 million or just over 2 million right now. But for look, if you're not a millionaire, this is more than enough liquidity for anyone really. There's more than enough liquidity, and it trades just like the SPY. All right, SPYM. So just a cheaper version. I'm, when it comes to options, though, I probably wouldn't do any options in it if it does have options available. I wouldn't do any options in it. Let me actually see if there's any options available. SPYM. If it's got options, boy, that's oh shit, it does have options. Okay, the liquidity. The liquidity is actually not that bad. I mean, if you're doing like less than 10, uh, if you're doing like less than 5 contracts, it's actually not that. Yeah, yeah, it don't have crazy liquidity. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do. Uh, yeah, I probably wouldn't mess with it on the option side, but it does have options though. Yeah, the spreads could be a little closer. Let me see. God damn, they're cheap too. $90 contract. Hold on. SPYM. Let's see. Let me go out 51 days. Let's say I wanted to sell. Where's the monthly chart? Okay, we're a little overextended. I wanted to sell the November low, which is 76.90. The November low, 76.90. So let's go to. Nope, it's not enough. There's not enough applied volatility for how I trade. Yeah, it's not enough for me. But if you're buying straight up calls and puts, I don't see a problem with it. But for the way I trade, it's not enough. Not enough there for me. Yeah, it's not enough. So that's for like 9 for 1. I'm a little over 6 months now. Oh, okay, that's what's up, bro. Yeah, man. SPY M might be the way for you, bro. Yeah, if you're a long-term investor, you care about, low fees and you don't necessarily need to be in and out every single day, that's your trade. That's your trade right there. Yeah. Good question. All right, here's Microsoft. I'm telling you, man, Microsoft's got a huge issue with OpenAI. I'm watching Microsoft. I just wanted to break one more support, which is 467, and then I want to start shorting. I want to start shorting. But we're watching Microsoft, but it's back above that support level, and that's dangerous. Mm, Other than that, guys, I'm just watching the markets. Plenty of support here, 628, 629. We're looking really good right now in the Qs. Looking really good. We got some profit taking coming in, but still think we hold the 630s. Yeah. Uh, uh, yeah, I don't usually don't go live during the days just because, I'd just rather be in here watching movies or some shit like that. But I figured, hey, why not? Why not? Any other questions? Go ahead and drop it in the chat. Just shooting this shit right now. Yeah. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. I need to put that down there like these other traders have down there where they have their little X and all of that stuff down there. Let's see, Chinese stocks. Chinese stocks doing really well, man. These Chinese stocks, they're overextended, but people are coming in. Like I'd love if we can get back to, you know, some of these, but it's finding support. Even overextended is finding support. JD.com. Yeah, I'm not. It's all about Baba or Alibaba. I love Alibaba because what it's not even just the fact that America, it's the rest of the world, man. It's the rest of the world. What China means to the rest of the world. China is lifting millions of people out of poverty, with their manufacturing, particularly like in South America, man, and what they're doing out there in South America. You know, you got Chinese cars now hitting the foreign world. I'm not a fan of JD. I'm not a fan of JD, Big Onk. I figure, Dre, did I miss your question? Why do you prefer buying deep in the money call spreads over selling out of the money call spreads? Well, if I'm accurate on the trend, right? If I'm accurate on the trend, then with a deep in the money call spread, I make money faster. And what so happens often is that those trends can break, right? Unfortunately, those trends can break. And with the deep in the money call spread, if the trend breaks momentarily, let's say 2 or 3 days, right? Or 4 days, you still make money. You still make money because you're, you know, 4.5, 5.5% away from the price action. Now you take a trade, right? Let's say you buy a stock is running, it's at 150. You sell the 138, right? You put a deep call spread, put deep bull call spread at 138. We're at 150. Okay, trend breaks momentarily. Now we're at 146. Right? At 138, right? Am I punished a little bit? A little bit, but guess what? Over the next couple of days, let's say we go from, 146, we go back up to 147, 148, back down to 147. I'm making money. I'm making money. Out OTM, right? Out of the money, I'm losing my ass because time value is working against me. You know what I'm saying? Time value is working against me. All right. It would even on put spreads. Versus out the money put spreads. Okay, well now if we're talking about put spreads, depending on how you're trading it, because I'm talking about the stock going up, right? Trade trades. You're talking about the stock going up. If we're talking about the stock going up, then that means you're using significant amount of margin. I don't want to use that much margin, right? Because in your put spreads, you're taking in credit Okay. And the broker says, well, give me this amount that I've got to hold in order for you to have the credit. It works the same way. It still can work. It still can work. I just don't want to put up margin. That's all. So if you're talking put spreads, I don't want to put up margin. Okay. I don't want to put up margin. I don't want to put up margin. Yeah, I don't want to put up margin. Dre trades. I do trades that do not require margin. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. I get what you're saying. You're selling puts. You're selling puts. I get what you're saying. I don't want to use margin. That's all. Because let me go back to because I haven't done that in a long time. But let's look at your SPY. Let me put up something like GLD. All right. I expect GLD to go higher. Okay. So I'm gonna put up GLD and I'm gonna look at the March 26 GLDs for March 20th. All right, that's 51 days away. GLD is trading for 486. Let's say I want to sell the 500s right now. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Three. Yeah. See, the problem with that is that yeah, it's very directional. Out of the money puts is very directional. You really need the market to keep going your way. This is actually a really good trade, by the way, too. I literally just came off of the dome. It's really a good trade. You're putting up 385 to make 185 if GLD hits 500 by March, which I don't have any hesitation about. But yeah, you just can't have when you're doing out of the money puts. You better not have an off month. You know what I'm saying? You better not have an off month. Whereas on the call side, I could be in the money and it can go sideways and go down 3%. I've had trades where they've gone down 4.5%. I still made 100% on my money. All right, so that's all I'm protecting myself from, Dre. It's just if we get momentary, breakdown on the trend due to profit taking. Okay, because those are things I very well expect on. Let's say GLD. Let me put it up. I should have put it up. All right, so we see here GLD. You want to sell 500 up here. You take that trade now. This sucker is coming. It's coming back down eventually. So now you're up there and you're like, fuck. Is this going to go my way? When is it going to come back? Well, I'm at 450, right? Or I'm at 440. Let it come back down. Let us do its thing. And now I'm not like huffing and puffing. I'm not, irate. I'm not agitated because I need the price to come back, you know, 11%. You know what I'm saying? I need the stock to come back 11%. And now time works for me. Time works for me instead of against me. You know, time works for me instead of against me. He said, so puts are better than calls? No, I believe calls are better than puts. I believe doing bull put spreads, if I keep bull call spreads, call spreads. This is what they're called. This is what I do. Okay? Okay. Are better, okay, are better than bull put spreads. Okay. All right. Dre does bull put spreads. I do bull call spreads. I believe that I'd rather want time to work for me. I believe that the market will correct or could correct after my trades, and I still want to be able to make money without margin. Okay, without requiring margin. Okay, without margin. Do I still do those iron condor 60-day on SPX? Now I do them on SPY, Dre. I just do them on SPY. But no, I no longer do iron condors. But I started doing them on SPY, but I no longer do the iron condors because we're blowing the tops constantly. I mean, this market is just going up, man. I don't want to have anything above at a certain price because that was the biggest problem with my iron condors is because we're just up, 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 up. So that's what got me into the bull call spreads because I was just getting killed constantly having to move, my call side into, another date or just having to adjust or just close it. So now I don't even want anything above me. I don't want anything above me. Look at GLD. Look at if you were somebody who did an iron condor in GLD. You got crushed. You've been crushed. You know? So I don't even want anything above me. And in your scenario, bull put spreads would work, right? Assuming price action kept going this way, right? Because you got it cheap out of the money, it increases in value as the trend holds, and you sell for a nice profit once, those puts hopefully go to zero or go to pennies. But different strokes for different folks. There's no good or bad. It's just really what you prefer. What you prefer. All right. But I like selling options to where, or not selling options, but I like doing spreads to where just a 1% move on the underlying will put me into break even. Just a 1% move. So that's why I go that far back. If you guys remember the 1% strategy that I talked about, it's just the same thing. It's just the same thing. All right. But not a lot of people want to put up, 300 to make 100, put up, 500 to make 285. A lot of people don't want to do that. But once they start seeing, like, oh shit, it's an 83% probability of success, then it's like, oh, okay, I get it. I get it. What's going on, Mr. Cool Millie, if you're still in here? And see your comment. Yeah, it's gonna take a while to get Darth Kerman. I saw your message. It's gonna take a while to get the momentum back, but I'm here, man. I mean, can't force everyone to come back, but it is what it is. All you can do is just continue to be consistent and put out content and let time and consistency do its thing. So can you trade options? Can you trade options with just a cash account? No, well, no, because most option strategy, most not my strategies that I teach you. Okay, not my strategies that I teach you because most brokers won't let you have more than one leg without margin access. Okay, all right. That's why sometimes when you're applying for a broker and they ask levels of permission, you know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna have to apply for that level 4, or some people call it level 3. Some people call it level 10. So you're still going to need that, and cash account wouldn't be able to trade my strategy, no. But if you wanted a single leg option, uh, then the cash account should be fine. You know, single leg options should be fine. If you're all about, hey, this is going up, this is going down, you buy one put, you buy one call, that's perfectly fine. But once you start doing stuff with legs and butterflies and all of that type of stuff, you need margin. Let's take a look, man. MNQH, MNQH. Oh, okay. E-minis. Oh, okay, you're on futures. Okay. 4 hour. Yeah, momentary price profit taking, that's all. It's a momentary profit taking. You're still up on the, you're obviously up for the day, but just momentary profit taking, that's all. And again, just the law of coming back into that channel, and it still looks very, very healthy. Still looks very healthy, but momentary profit taking. And I'd wait till I get another green candlestick if you're using a 4 hour chart. I'd wait for like a doji or another green candlestick. They're holding those lows though. I mean, they're really trying to hold that at 156. Let's go zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I mean, the 2 hour shows you should hold the trend here, but I'd wait for confirmation with one more candlestick. But I don't. I definitely think I can see. I'm on a 2 hour now. Is really trying to hold that trend. Man, R, will I be on tonight? I have to think about it. If I'm live till 4, probably not. Because all I'm going to do is just kind of rehash what I've been talking about all day. All right. So yeah, you're seeing a little bit of rejection of those higher prices, but this is where we got to bounce off of. This has got to hold, but it's holding now pretty well too. You know, look at what it did back here. This is a 2 hour, but look at what it did here. Kept it, closed it, but didn't close below it, and kept the trend running. And that's exactly what you want to see here. We want to get as close to this line as possible, right? And not close below it. And it's doing very well that. On the 4 hour looks really good. Looks really good. Just getting back into that Keltner channel, looking really good. But I wouldn't go long just yet though. I would not go long just yet until I see a nice some buy, some long stepping up. All right. Good luck to you, Darth Kermit. Good luck to you, sir. Good luck on that exam. Do your thing, bro. Knock it out the park, man. Let me give you one. Yes, sir. Go out there and kill it. Yeah, pool trader. I think you got something good going on. It's just a momentary profit taking right now. But again, I'm so bullish on tech right now. But we're seeing just momentary profit taking because again we gapped open, right? We gapped open. Let's look at the 15. We gapped open, so we're just coming back in, and because nobody wants to be somebody else's profits. Everybody's looking at the same charts. So when you open up high like that, sometimes you'll have a gap and go, but not on these professionally managed, large liquidity type. Because nobody, you know, yeah, you don't have too many fools playing these tickers. All right. So don't let price come back and settle, and then they'll start buying where they, feel like it's fair. Yeah, I would just be a little bit patient on that one. Just be a little bit patient on that one. Yeah. Everybody just wants a fair price. That's all. Nietzsche, he said no more trucking. Yeah, I got out of trucking a long time ago, man. It was just too lonely, bro. I couldn't do trucking because it was too lonely. The money in trucking it actually is pretty good, but it's just too lonely. Just being out on the road like that by yourself. And as I made an episode, I talked about how, like, nobody was taking my calls. And, it just feels like, if I don't know what it is, but man, as you get older, you have those friends you can always kind of reach out to and check up on, but obviously they've got their own lives and their own families, and so it's not like the high school days or early college. But man, when you're a truck driver, man, it's so fucking lonely, so fucking lonely. You know, Girls that I thought that like I had done so much for, that they'd always like be on my side when I call them and stuff like that. It's like, oh, out of sight, out of mind. Now, like my calls are going to voicemail, and I can't reach them. And it's just like, wow, really? It's really like that, And then the money, okay, yeah, you get like $2,000 in a week, but you don't even have time to spend it. You don't even have time to spend it, you know. And then you got guys who are like, oh, I know what to do with your thing to make you be able to run more and all. You just get more tired. I was gaining weight like crazy. I was gaining weight like crazy. The lot lizards trucking is what caused my sexual dysfunction, bro. Trucking messed me up sexually. Trucking is what made me become like a a sex addict because, bro, I'd be on the road and like you don't, you're not with, you don't have a girlfriend around. So like I'd be at places where like I'm looking at women, I'm just like women, uh, ass, must get titties, like that's how you develop because and I came back home and I had this huge urge just to like fuck everything in sight, you know, and it messed me up. It really messed me up. Before I got into trucking, I had a nice little roster and young ladies that I was, talking to, whatever. But I was never thirsty. Trucking makes you thirsty for women. Trucking makes you thirsty, bro. It's what I'm saying, bro. Like I knew shit was going wrong when I stopped at uh gosh, I forgot all the names of these places. I stopped at travel something. It's called travel truck center or something like that. Travel truck stop. What do they call it? Loves Pilot. Okay, Pilot. I stopped at a Pilot. That's what it called. And this woman walked in and bro, she had some huge tits, bro. This woman was like maybe a buck 30 with some huge tits. Like huge tits. And I'm just like staring at this lady, my eyes like expanding out of my head like I've never seen a woman with tits before. And she caught me. And she caught me staring at her. And she's looking at me like I'm weird or something. I'm like, then I realized that, bro, what the fuck are you doing? But that's where I gotten to because I had went 3 weeks in the truck, no sex, just delivering loads, riding around the country. And I had gotten to that point where now I'm staring at women, bro. Because I don't have that consistent like female energy around me, stopping by, coming to see me, cooking meals. Now I'm not thirsty for sex. If I want it, I get it. If I don't want it, it's cool. But as a trucker, bro, I don't ever want to live like that again, man. I don't ever want to live like that again, you know. And then my company at the time, they put you in these meetings about like trying to rat out truckers who like kidnap women because you got truckers out there who kidnap women. That's why I'm telling you, man. It's a fucking sick ass lifestyle, and I don't blame because the vast majority of truckers are just doing their job, but you do have I don't even want to say 95. I say a good 80% of truckers are legit, but 20% of them are doing some really sick shit, driving around the country doing some really sick shit out there. They're kidnapping girls. They're engaged in a lot of stuff that you know people don't know about. You said delivering loads, hilarious. Travel Centers of America. Thank you, Dre. Yeah, Travel Centers, Pilot, Loves. You pull into places like that, and you do what truckers do, and you got lot lizards who are running in there and working out of there. And these women are your girlfriend for 30 minutes or 15 minutes, you know. And I never participated in that because I didn't get that low. You know what I'm saying? I never pulled a lot lizard. They were never, I never caught one that was like young and, just in the game. All of them looked like they've just been destroyed by the life. Those videos where they show you these women who are like super young and I never saw any of those when I was on the road. But I couldn't do it. But I will forever, ever, ever uh, remember those experiences, being out there, getting my CDL and all that shit. But that's just definitely not a lifestyle for. It's not a lifestyle for someone who's social, someone who's can make friends easily. That's not your lifestyle. That's not for you. Trucking is for people who maybe you're saving up for a particular goal in mind. You don't really have you know family obligations. You don't really have you know demands for social interaction. You don't really care for it. Maybe that's for you. You said delivering loads. That's hilarious. Let's see what else was going on out here, man. All right, so spy holding on, trying to hold on to 695. Basically down almost $2 today. Opened up a little high. That's fine. Might go bearish. We close beneath that. We might go at least on the 15-minute chart. We might go bearish on the SPY temporarily. But we're at support right now. We're basically at support on the 15-minute on the SPY. We're at support on the 15-minute. Let's see if we hold it. Support becomes resistance becomes support. So let's see. It was resistance. Let's see if it becomes support here on the 15-minute if we get down there. But I see 694s. 694 should hold today. All right. 694 should hold today. Let's take a look. It's crazy in life when you think about all the jobs you've had. You know what I'm saying? A brother sold insurance, trucking, insurance adjusting. Insurance adjusting actually too is really good money too. But then they started sending me into the neck of the woods. I'm pulling up to white folks' houses who live in God knows nowhere. I'm like, look, if these people ever try to lynch me or something like that, say that I committed suicide and hung myself on a tree, shit, you know, because I really wanted a job where I just drive around in the progressive car. And but then they started like, oh well, we need people out here. And I was like, man, fuck this shit. Y'all sending me out here to these people out here who don't have no life. 695, and then the money too wasn't. The money started slowing down. Money started slowing down. All right, here we go. Here we go. It's SPY. All right, they really want to lose 695 today. I hate the 1 minute chart. I absolutely hate the 1 minute chart. But I want to glance at it just for a second. Yeah, very bearish. All right, go back up to 15 minute. Yeah, nothing special, man. I'm not seeing anything. Speaking of progressive PRG earnings, okay. All right, see, we got that sell indicator pull up, but it's got to close. It's got to close beneath that. I don't know if it's going to close, or maybe it will close underneath the sell. So it's giving us a sell. But I think 694 holds today. And when I say 694, I mean like 694 05 or something like that. I don't think we lose a whole nother dollar from here. Okay, look at the Bulls trying to fight back. PRG. Let's take a look at PRG real quick, though. Whenever you mention that, I haven't. Yeah, it's an ugly looking stock, boy. It's an ugly looking stock, but it's got a sell on it right now. But it's looking a little bit better. But I tell you, I'll tell you this much though: if you're in a high inflation economy, companies like this that bring in, hold on, PRG, yeah, companies like this that bring in a lot of cash are where you kind of want to be and pay good dividends. Yeah, we talked about Microsoft earlier. There's some real issues. I'm actually so funny you mentioned that because I'm looking at potentially shorting Microsoft as well. You know, but again, it's got to break beneath 467, and I'm not seeing that yet. It's got to break beneath 467. Yeah, Tesla. I haven't touched Tesla stock in so long, man. I haven't done anything with Tesla in a long time, just because this shit is all over the map, bro. Especially a couple years ago, it was just all over the place. Couple years, yeah, here it goes. I tried to play it in 2023. It was just like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, down here, I was really trying to play it, and it's just, you'd find support and then break support, and then support would turn into resistance, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Now, this breakout here at 264, that 265, that turned out to be a very nice thing, but I haven't messed with it since. I haven't messed with it since. But congrats to anybody who touched it. But yeah, I don't know where that stock is now. I don't know where that stock is now. Y'all have no idea how much I'm fighting back, going to grab me a bucket of Popeyes right now, bro. I'm fighting back the urge. My head is like, don't you want a tasty, delicious 12-piece leg and thigh right now? That's where my head is right now, bro. Well, we don't need those calories. We've been doing really good, you know, trying to work up to that 10,000 steps. I've been hitting like 7,500, so I've been doing really good at that. Like I'll go out here at like 1:30 and just walk around. I've been doing really really good at that because I figure about an hour of walking the way I walk, I can get in about 75, about 7,500 or so at a 3 mile an hour pace. You know, 2.5 to 3. But I do want a bucket of Popeyes right now, so bad. Lord have mercy. You know, crazy. Just fuck up all my gains. You know, I've been doing good. I've been doing really, really good right now. I'm at 239. I started at 256. So I've been doing really, really good. I've been doing really good. I just got to stay away from the meats. Stay away from the meats for now. The oils. because right now I went back to cooking with butter, so I cook with butter, real 100% butter, no, not margarine. It's a real butter, grass-fed butter. So I've been doing really good. Um, Soft drinks. Started with the zero sugar. Now I'm only really doing water with a little bit of lemon in it. So I've been doing really good, man. It's just I gotta stay consistent. So I'll pass somewhere and see that butter, delicious Church's butter chicken. Oh my fucking god! And you know, you bite into that Church's chicken, bro. That it just goes all along your mouth and shit. Pause. You know what I mean? I can't help it, bro. Can't help it. I'm trying to fight it back, fam. I do about 500 or 5,000 pacing back and forth, chain smoking, look at my portfolio sometimes. See, I don't smoke. I don't smoke nothing. So that's one good thing going for me. I don't smoke. Never did hookah or what's that thing people doing now with the vaping? I feel like that's worse, man. Yeah, the vaping addiction is crazy. Yeah, the vaping addiction is crazy. You know, shit's hilarious. Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to fight it though. I still do, you know, I still do, a little bit of Colt 45. At least I do drink a little bit of Colt 45 like once every other month. I'll get me a 40-ounce Colt 45, you know. And that's a bad habit I got living in Detroit because these old heads will just be outside, the barber shop or the liquor store with that paper bag in their hand. It was a Colt 45. So one day I was very curious. I was like, what is this drink these old niggas always drink in Colt 45? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might run into a brother we got an Old English or something like that, or a Cobra, but it was Colt 45 almost 90% of the time. So I went and bought me a Colt 45. I was like, shit, this shit is good. Had a nigga smacking his lips and everything. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is actually pretty good. You know. So yeah, I started drinking that once every 2 months or so. You know, usually to celebrate something. I'll get it to celebrate something. But you don't want to be drinking alcohol regularly because it's really not good for your body. But usually to celebrate, to celebrate. Yeah, yeah, no, bro. I'll drink a Cold 45, bro. I mean, shout out to the old heads, man. Shout out to the old heads. You know, I shout out to the old heads,
Another
man.
one.
I appreciate them introducing me to Colt 45. That's one of them brands I hope never goes away. You know what I'm saying? Never goes away. Good old Colt 45. As soon as I see Colt 45, I think, brother giving you good game or spitting some good information, teaching you lessons on sometimes what not to be too. You know, what not to be too. Yeah. Let's get back. Let's go. What's the indexes is doing? All right. So we about to lose 695. We about to lose 695. They're fighting, boy. They're fighting the whole six. Okay, we got down to 694.80. Okay, we got down to 694.80. Again, I told y'all, man, they're gonna fight to hold this. That's where everybody sees it. But I'm telling you, we're gonna we should lose 694.80, but I think we hold. Let me move this down. We hold 694 today. I think we hold 694 today. I think we hold 694 today. Not confident enough to pull it as a trade, but I think that can hold today. Mm-mm-mm. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Why silver bullets pop before and will pop again if it ever inflates? As soon as significant monetary investment flows into silver, it is not as difficult for producers to increase in the process. Okay. Somebody talking about, reading somebody on Twitter talking about how the silver price could crash because, unlike gold, increasing the supply of silver is much, much easier, which could crash the price of silver on any kind of major run. Okay. And the price up, the rationale was. And he goes back into that Hunt Brothers rationale. If you guys don't remember, the Hunt Brothers were a bunch of rich people back in the 70s. They tried to bring in remonetization of silver, and they were all about us, trying to get back onto the gold standard. Or by then they thought about, let's why not we get on a silver standard? So they tried to buy the damn silver market, right? Buying enormous tons of that, driving the price up. But what happened was not the manufacturers, but the producers of silver, right? The companies that dig it out the ground, just simply increased their production, and they basically couldn't hold it, and it crashed. And the Hunt brothers lost over $1 billion doing that shit. And this is again in the 70s, $1 billion in the 70s. All right, so it was a painful lesson for them. And I don't think we are they even still alive? Let me see. Hunt brothers. Man, not the fucking pizza. What the fuck? Uh, I don't think they're still alive. Nelson Hunt and William Hunt. Yeah, they're all died. They all died in the early 2014. 2014. When did he die? 2024. Oh, damn. William Hunt died last year. 1929 to 2024. That man almost lived to 100. Damn. And he died with a net worth of $5.3 billion. So okay, so they still had bread. They still had bread. They still had bread. Lamar Hunt. Okay, he died in 2006. Okay, yeah, they all died in the 2000s, early 2000s. But yeah, they tried to corner the silver market, and all these companies just outproduced them, and they ended up losing $1 billion. Rich ass motherfuckers. They got rich on Texas oil. Yeah, they were the people that got the Bushes elected in the early '90s back down there in Texas. That was a lot of Hunt Brothers money. A lot of that was Hunt Brothers money. And then Daddy Bush went into business with them too. It's a really I read the biography on Daddy Bush. That motherfucker was a snake ass motherfucker, man. Like really connected CIA, military, business. I mean, anybody who was anybody, George H.W. Bush knew that person. Nigga was untouchable. It's crazy stuff. All right. Boy, they really coming for that 694. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, they're really trying to come after that 694. Checking my positions real quick. QQQ. Following the same way. It's QQQ. And trying to fill that gap. Here's the gap fill. I mean, we've seen this trade so many times, man. We've seen this trade so many times where they open up and, nobody wants to be someone else's profits. So they're just, filling the gap here. Just going to fill the gap. Everybody's on the sidelines waiting, waiting, waiting. All right. They're watching the same charts we're watching. Fill that gap. And then come back. And then you just, even if you come back down to 630, it's cool. As long as we hold this is what we need to hold into the weekend. It's A-OK. Let me see here. What is that? 630. Okay, so we filled the gap. Just bought you a lotto put on Tesla for what? For what, Big Onk? What price? When you say lotto put, what price are you talking about? When you say lotto pick, what's your price? I thought Sentinel One was going to be, a strong competitor on AI security like Palantir, but hey, they just not getting those contracts. Basically those no bid contracts like Palantir gets, and Palantir too looking a little tired. Palantir's looking tired. Well, I see a Head and Shoulders in there. Palantir looking tired right now. Gotta figure out what's going on in Palantir. PLTR 350 for earnings. Okay. Ooh, 350. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I hope it goes for you. I mean, if Tesla does miss, that's the kind of impact it would have. I mean, you would definitely lose at least a good, 30, $35 off that price. They do miss, and it's aggressive. Let me take a look real quick. Let's come back to that one. Bookmark that one. Here's the truth, guys. We only really have a few years. We probably have like a good 5 years to go before this government like debases us so badly that you're just going to remain in the permanent underclass, bro. Like if you don't have at least like 100,000 that you're gonna be able to put into an interest bearing asset like or a profit bearing asset, um, you're just gonna be fucked. You're just gonna have to live off what Uncle Sam gives you, and it's not gonna be a lot because you won't really be able to go out here and like earn income like we have for so long. Because you'll just have all these robots out here doing shit you used to do for a living. That won't be everywhere, but it'll be a lot of places. 694 holding. Telling you. Let's see if we can hold 694. Come on. A long day to go. Oh, actually, nope. We're going right through 694. Shit. Mm-mm-mm. QQQ holding on for dear life. Holding on to that $1 for dear life. Yeah. Let's take a look, man. Those. Cracker Barrel. He's talking about. They talking about some damn restaurants. SB. Starbucks. Has anyone ever played Starbucks? I've never played Starbucks just because I just I don't like the way it trades. I've never thought the business was interesting to me, and I just wouldn't be interested in putting my money in a coffee shop. You know what I'm saying? But I read how Shaquille O'Neal says this was his worst, worst or the biggest missed financial opportunity he ever had because the owner of Starbucks went to him like at the beginning stages, like when they were first formatting, and they wanted to give him like a license for 30 locations, and he passed it down. He said he was one of the worst financial mistakes he ever made, and it was also responsible for the way he now like will take a risk he otherwise you know would have passed on because it was such a missed opportunity to get involved in Starbucks at the beginning. He was like, yeah, they came to him, and I'm thinking Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal these days down here. Again, this stock has, Ford split before, so Shaquille O'Neal, guessing out of the league at what, '09? No, he was out of the league at like But they came to him early. They came to him early before he was even out of the league. But he was in Los Angeles. And they tried to get him to do some stuff with them, but he wasn't feeling it. Mm-mm-mm. You're just watching my trades. And on the 31st, we're going to have this the government shutdown is going to happen again. We're going to have this government shutdown. Boy, they're really trying to step in for 694, aren't they? I called it spot on. They're really trying to step up for 694 and defend 694 a lot. I didn't even think they try to defend it that hard. They really are. FCX, SPY. Yen. QQQ trade. Hilarious. Mm-mm-mm. You need to lift some heavyweights, get some muscle. Gay men to help you gain some muscle. Oh, Lord, man. This guy, I mean, every time you see me, I'm sitting in a chair. I got to do my show. But I don't be here all day. You talking about some gay man can help me do some muscle. Man, if you don't get your ass up out of here, where's my sound effect for that, man?
Get out of here, you damn nigger!
Yeah. Hilarious. You stay trolling. This nigga's been trolling for years. That's why I know they pay well for trolling, because he been consistent. He been real consistent.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Jesus. Let me see here, man. This market's starting to put me to sleep because I already know where it goes from here. Basically nothing. Goes sideways for the rest of the day. Goes sideways for the rest of the day. Now those 692 puts, they probably got a little bit of meat on them. 692 puts on SPY. Probably got some change on them. But it's going to go quickly. They ain't got shit. It Risk 750 to make 250. Is it true that there are lots of big gay muscle gay men in Atlanta, Georgia, and America? Yes. They all over the place down there, man. You know. And in San Francisco, America, yes. You get your pussy blown every which way down there, pause. You know. But that's our capital down there. You know what I mean? That's our capital out there. Ugh. Oh, I gotta find out what's going on with Palantir because it's looking like a short right now. Nobody's talked about Walmart for a long time on my show. It's almost as if Walmart doesn't exist to you guys, but they've been doing really well, man. I'm always just amazed at how a company with that many stores can still do so well. But when you have such a, and you remember for a long time prior to Amazon, people were talking about Walmart being a monopoly, but then then Amazon showed up, and Walmart still been able to carve a path for themselves. You know, Walmart is still able to survive. I commend Walmart. You know, for being able to survive regardless of all the threats from e shopping, online shopping, whatever you want to call it. And let's see, DXY. God damn, the dollar's still crashing today. What's the 5 minute? Okay, so nice little bounce on the dollar today. Nice little bounce on the dollar today off that embarrassing sell off yesterday. Little bounce on the dollar. Is Krispy Kreme? Krispy Kreme. Oh God, come on. They still have a stock, Krispy Kreme? Donut. Okay, yeah, I saw Krispy Kreme was losing their ass, but shit. And it's crazy because the Krispy Kreme collapsed. Krispy Kreme went public, and you know, a lot of people saying was that GLP-1s and GLP-1s is causing Krispy Kreme to go down, and people watching their weight and all of that stuff. But boy, I love me some Krispy Kreme donuts. I really do. I love me some Krispy Kreme donuts, man. Mm-mm-mm. Man, this market's putting me to sleep now. Appreciate you guys joining me in here, watching the markets, seeing where all this is going to go. Shout out to you out here making your money.
Order filled.
All right. I know it's FOMC day, but again, I don't really care too much about what the Fed is talking about. I should. I mean, but most of my trades today are multi-day trades. I shouldn't say I don't care because low key I do care, but yeah, appreciate you guys. Order flow, Agilian Technologies, Zillow. Again, I'm just putting up random because I'm just trying to figure out what's interesting out here right now. Yeah, outside of gold, and I mean, gold is doing what gold is going to do. Good lord, you got J Nug out here doing J Nug going to do. Home Depot. Housing in general is so fucked, but again, that's going to change once these interest rates drop. But you just can never trust where the low is until that time. Looked at Wayfair. Western Digital is another one that like I completely forgot about Western Digital. You know, Western Digital is another stock that like, bruh, you know what I'm saying? A nobody stock, bro. A nobody stock. When did it take off? June of 2025. You know what I mean? Western Digital. I've bought Western Digital stuff before. When I say bought, I'm talking like, you know, the old CDs, like rewritable CDs. A lot of those were Western Digital. You know, computer peripherals. Shout out to Western Digital. They got their earnings tomorrow. Stock is up $24 today. Give them that. Stock is up $24 today, but there's another one that's just like shit. Waste management. Waste management doing really good. Quick story about waste management. After I quit trucking on the road doing LTR, I came home. People were like, oh, you know, you can go drive a garbage truck. I went out there to interview. I couldn't stand the smell, and the smell, bro. You drive into the facility and the smell, I couldn't do it. But to others, it smells like money. But they were like, "Oh, it's home every night. You just gotta wake up at like four. You gotta wake up at like 3, 4 in the morning." I couldn't do that shit. That's the thing about stock market money is it just makes you. It does make you kind of like, I don't want to say lazy, but you just start realizing once you make $5,000 trading stocks, you start to like just be really. There's just certain jobs you just don't want to fucking do, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to. Just certain jobs you don't want to do. You realize you don't really have to do it. I can understand why they don't really teach people to do this shit. You can't be obedient and be a stock trader and be a day trader, swing trader, whatever it is. It's very hard for you to do this and be obedient to the idea of climbing the corporate ladder or just being disciplined enough just to like clock in every day. You know what I'm saying? Someone in here was talking about he's going to be a nurse and whatnot, but once he gets into nursing, and let's say he gets to a point where he can pull 10, 20,000 from the market every month, okay? Assuming he can invest that much, uh, there are going to be shifts you're not going to want to take. There are going to be some like you're just not going to want to do it to work so hard. This shit does kind of make you lazy, bro. Mm. Yeah, so even the trade slower. Yeah, yeah, man. Absolutely. Somebody asked me if I could do it over again, what I would have done. I would have went and become like an electrician or something like that. I would have become an electrician, work as hard as I can to become like a master electrician, and then just put all my profits in the market. You know what I'm saying? Go build a company with somebody, become one of those electricians that eventually can position himself to go into like large power stations that fuel data centers and stuff like that. I would have done some shit like that. But again, I didn't have anybody around me who knew anything about the trades, and getting into that kind of stuff. In hindsight, I just had a lot of people who were just, office workers, really, because they just got used to being office workers. You know, that was just the office work mentality. But the trades was where it's been at for the last 30 years, but nobody paid attention. Bro, look at Exxon. What the fuck? Shout out to Exxon, man. Shout out to Exxon. Mm-mm, mm-mm. All right, they're trying to attack 694 again. They might get it this time. But I mean, we had the new high, so we got the new high. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. What's going on, man? Man, let's see here. It's QQQ. That's why I trade QQQ a lot because it's just does what it needs to do, man. Does what I need it to do. Shout out to QQQ. Doing what I need it to do. Hmm. Let's take a look and see what happens. Mm. Come on, man. Feel like this market ain't doing shit. The market that's up is up. Everyone else is just chilling about. It's lunchtime now, so this is kind of when the market starts to do its boring dance, and then you don't really get a market that comes back alive until about 2 o'clock. For those of you guys who've been here long enough, you know how it goes. Really doesn't come alive again until 2 o'clock. God, is he tweeting about Iran again? Is he tweeting about Iran again? God, fucking Jesus Christ. Hold on, man. Let me go look at this man's tweets, man. I don't know why I wasn't following Trump. I should have been following him. Let me see. God damn, man. Did he? Okay, I don't see that on. Is U.S. Hold on, let me do Trump True Social. Because you remember he started his own app. Uh, That's a commentary account. Hold on. A massive armada is heading to Iran. It is moving quickly with great power, enthusiasm, and purpose. It's the larger fleet headed by the great aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln, then sent to Venezuela. Like Venezuela, it is ready, willing, and able to rapidly fulfill its mission with speed and violence if necessary. Hopefully, Iran will quickly come to the table and negotiate a fair and equitable deal. No nuclear weapons, one that is good for all parties. Time is running out. It is essential. It is truly of the essence. As I told Iran once, make a deal. They didn't, and there was Operation Midnight Hammer. The next attack will be far worse. Don't make that happen. Oh, God. Boy, these small hats got his ass working, boy, don't they? These small hats got his ass working, boy. They got your boy working. Rare earths. USAR, nope, nope, no thoughts on that. EBAN R. Again, it's a small company, man, doing what small stocks do. When they run up hard, they sell back. You know, there's some profit taking, and it still looks good. You know, it still looks really good. And, you know, it's down $1. That's really, you know, again, if it wasn't for the fact that it's a small company, you know what I'm saying? But it's down $1. What is that going to mean? You know, a week from now, nothing. You know, it's a small company. It's running really hard. Rare earth definitely has its uses. It's ran harder before. You know, but so just hold. I would hold it, man. I wouldn't dump the stock till before $20. To be honest with you, pool trader, yeah, man. These small hats got his ass working hard, boy. Telling you, he came on here and said, "I'm not leaving Iraq alone." They probably just told him to post that just to keep it on America's mind, you know. You know, this is a historic day for the market. The S&P 500 hitting 7,000. He talking about Iran. That's how you know he's compromised, man. That's how you know homeboy's compromised. Let me take a look. Mm. All right. I should have turned my heat on. Now it's kind of warm in here. What?
But if you want to put it in a single sentence, you could say that feminization equals wokeness. Everything you think of as wokeness is simply an epiphenomenon of demographic feminization.
Oh, white girl spin some real shit. Oh, I don't know if y'all can see. Yeah,
But if you want to put it in a single sentence, you could say that feminization equals wokeness. Everything you think of as wokeness is simply an epiphenomenon of demographic feminization. Think about all the things that wokeness means. Valuing empathy over rationality, safety over risk, conformity and cohesion over competition and hierarchy. All of these things are privileging the feminine over the masculine. So if you have ever wondered why wokeness appeared out of nowhere when it did, that is my hypothesis, that all of the institutions that began admitting women in the 1970s eventually got enough women that they were able to reorient them. For example, women are consistently less supportive of free speech than men in surveys asking which is more important, protecting free speech or preserving an inclusive society. Approximately 2/3 of men say free speech, and approximately 2/3 of women say inclusive society. In moral reasoning,
I've said that
the
before.
traditional way of phrasing the difference between men and women is to say that women have an ethics of caring and men have an ethics of justice. In making a moral judgment, men will ask, what are the rules and what are the facts? Women tend to be more interested in context and relationships. So let's apply that to wokeness. When James Damore wrote his famous, or I should say notorious memo for Google, arguing that female underrepresentation in the hard sciences might not be the result of bias and prejudice, no one even attempted to argue that he was wrong on the facts. The reason that he was fired was because the things he had written might make his female coworkers feel bad. Or consider the Kavanaugh hearings. The masculine position was to say that maybe something bad happened to you, but if you do not have evidence, then we can't allow you to ruin a man's life and career over it. The feminine position was to say, how can you talk about rules of evidence? Can't you see she's crying? Now, to be clear, many women were revolted by the way the Kavanaugh hearings played out. In fact, the very best.
Okay, that's it. That's interesting shit. You know, usually that these groups can get kind of racist as fuck, but even she's spitting some real shit when they talk about men versus women. You know, because women do kind of, as I mentioned, they really care more about relationships than they do justice and fairness and all of that stuff. ZM. Boy, man, I just remember the days Zoom used to, during the COVID, Zoom got all the way up to $600. Look at that, man. Zoom was a beast during the pandemic. And granted, everybody was using Zoom during the pandemic, so I don't blame them. Everybody was using Zoom. Everybody. Every company and their mama had to buy a Zoom contract. You know. Yeah, it was Zoom. Shout out to Zoom. Zoom's looking good. Let's see. Texas Instruments. God damn, I was wondering why is Texas Instruments running so damn hard right now? The estimates ranging from, yeah, shout out to Texas Instruments. They're doing more than them overrated ass calculators. You remember in school, you had these people who had those big ass calculators. For those of you guys who are over 35, those expensive ass Texas Instrument calculators that had the graphics and you can make charts and shit on it. Man, these folks will make you feel so bad that you weren't in that class. I know a motherfucker right now. Again, knock on wood, because I wouldn't want to trade life with him, but he had them classes, and now he wipes booty for a living. Like literally, he's a CNA, and he was in those math classes. Like, oh, because they used to carry them calculators. Like, yeah, I got the graphing calculator. My class is so hard. No hate, no hate, man. Knock on wood, no hate. But back in the '90s, early 2000s, man, that used to make you feel like shit if you wanted to know AP class or AP this or AP that. And none of them people even ended up, at least in my school, ended up really, doing nothing. Do you think it's possible for a broker to be working against you? I feel like they robbing me. Interesting. Well, technically, you do have brokers who can take the other side of your trades, particularly if you're a losing trader. So if they figure that you are a losing trader, you lose significantly amount of your trades, they will actually start taking the opposite side of your trades. In order to give you free services, like so many brokers do, they do sell your data to companies. So the answer to your question is yes. They could very well be trading you, but they're not doing anything like making you have lower prices or anything like that. No, they're not doing anything like that. They do fabs, analog chips too. Okay, Ebanar, thank you. Texas Instruments. Shout out to Texas Instruments. Shout out to Texas Instruments. Let me move this on the other side. I need everybody to come back to lunch and get this market pumping again. I need everybody to come back to lunch now. Come back to lunch. Let's get this market up. Mm-mm-mm. Man, this gold price just keeps going, man. You said you have Webull. I'm sure they got my account bugged. Wow. I've never used Webull to trade before. It just came so late in my process. I was already comfortable with other providers, but Webull has options now. One time I played with Ebull just because a bunch of people on my show were talking about it. They did not have options at the time. So this was early Webull. Like they didn't have options. You couldn't short stocks. I think now you can. No one even brought up Amazon today, but they're laying off 16,000 workers due to rising competition with AI. and the workers they're laying off 16,000 corporate employees. My thing is when I see a company like, yeah, we're laying off 16,000 people, what were they doing that you felt like you had to hire that many people and now you just don't need them anymore? Like that's you know what I'm saying? That's like a hot dog shop that has 10 employees being like, yeah, we're gonna lay off 5 people. And like, can you really sustain the level of business you're doing with 5 people when you had 10? You know? I mean, is AI really that, or is this just an excuse to like, not have to provide some health care or some shit like that? You know what I'm saying? And does it overwork the people now who are left over? Hmm. Well, this man said this is starting to feel like a horror movie where all the world's rich elites know something major is coming, but the rest of the world is oblivious. It is trading like that though. It is kind of creepy. It's a little creepy. Hold on. I want y'all to hear what he says here for a second. Hold on.
So, for example, last year, American markets significantly underperformed foreign markets. And people don't quite realize that. And the best asset class, in a sense, was gold, but think of that as being the money. So, in answer to your question, okay, I've learned that was a lesson I learned that if there's a depreciation in the value of money, it makes everything look like it's going up. So, for example, last year,
Okay. I get what he's saying. He's saying fiat is making everything look like it's going up in value. So it's important for traders to stick with, you know, real good companies, of course, gold, silver, you know, and stocks that actually are making a difference out here. And just make sure you're not buying bullshit. Okay. Nietzsche, I use interactive brokers. But if I were to suggest for you what broker to use, and you're coming from Webull, I would think a good step up would be Thinkorswim for you. Thinkorswim. All right. Thinkorswim would be a really good step up for you from Webull. If you're really big on the mobile app thing, then Robinhood, and you just kind of like that colorful, that UI kind of thing, then just go to Robinhood. But if you're willing to step up and increase a slight increase level of difficulty in terms of what the platform may look like, I would go to Thinkorswim. I'd go to Thinkorswim. You know, you might also want to check out that one called Moomoo. Moomoo's a new one too. That looks really really good, and people I've heard some really good things about over the last 2 years, but a lot of people don't talk about. Yeah, yeah. TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab. Yeah, I'd go with them. I'd go with them. They've been around, do really good stuff. You know, It's predictable, great customer service. Every time I call them up, somebody picks up the phone no matter what time of night I call them. Somebody's there. So, yeah. Bro, this shit's running so fucking hard though, bro. Mm. Let me see, man. Yeah, robust charting software. You can add scripts to with all the bells and whistles if you choose to. Yeah, you can do all of that stuff. They got it all. Hmm. Zoran Mondani. Yeah, said Webull is trash. Yeah, Webull. I haven't heard many good things about it. I would admit that. I haven't heard many good things about Webull, but they have a trade bot working against me. Yeah, I haven't heard many good things about Webull. Okay. Yeah. Come on, man. God. Said so I don't really day trade at all. Yes. I just pulled it. I just did a trade. Are you following me on Twitter? I have a trade open right now that I need it to be defended. Yeah, I have 3 open positions right now. I have a SPY trade. I have a QQQ trade open right now that I filled this morning. All right. I have a QQQ trade where I sold the 631 calls against the 627 calls. Okay. Where my break even is 630.44, which I think I'm going to do very well on. Looks like that's going to be a winning trade. I got SPY on there right now. So QQQ has to hold 630. I think we're going to hold 630 easily on that today. So that's going to be a winning trade. Let's go back to SPY. I have a SPY open trade today. All right. I have a SPY open trade right now where I'm selling 693 against 692 with my break even being 692.75. I think I'll win that trade today. I have 2 winning positions right now. Yeah, I have 2 winning positions right now. Yeah. I want out of this damn truck. I understand, man. I get you, bro. I get you. I get you. No, I didn't take it personally or nothing like that. I just wanted to answer your question. But yeah, I take positions every single day. Every single day I'm taking a position with my deep in the money bull call spreads. All right. But every stock has to hit a certain level because I can't trade every single day unless either the SPY or QQQ, trade at a certain level. because my strategies don't work unless they reach a certain level. I have trades that work on the downside too, but they have to sell down to a certain level or I can't take the trade. So I'm not, for my day trades, I'm not looking for anything in the market in terms of uh, where the candlesticks are or anything like that. That is only for a long-term trade. That's only for a trade that I want to go out 2 weeks or more. Okay. Then I'm looking for, okay, where's the low risk entry point? Where is, support, resistance? For a day trade, I'm simply going by where is the current price? Because there's a probability built in to every day, okay, that the market will go a certain way, up or down, by a percentage. And I know that percentage. Right? Not necessarily by heart, I just have a probability scenario that I've determined after spending over $1,000 of research to figure out. Yeah. He said your strategy requires real patience just for one day though. Just for one day. If you're doing my day trading strategy or you're doing my 60-day or 14-day or whatever, you know. But every trade I do is 80% probability. I don't do any trade that's less than 80% probability of profit. And profit could be as little as, a penny, but at least 80% probability that I'm going to make a profit on the trade. I don't do anything less than that. So now I can sit back and determine, okay, what trades do I like kind of go heavier in? Because certain days you don't want to go too heavy because that could be that day that you get the other 20% and it goes against you. But these guys who have, 40% win rates, 30% win rate, I don't have time for that shit. I don't have time to be taking trades that don't work and then I got to stop myself out. That shit is exhausting, fam. I don't know how these guys do that. That shit is exhausting. And there are trading strategies where, yeah, you can have a 40% win rate, and at the end of the year, you're up. But I don't want to fucking lose 6 out of 10 trades. That shit is mentally abusive. That shit is mentally abusive on you to lose that many trades out of 10. 6 are going to be losses? No, I'm good. I'm going to take 10 trades and I want to win 8 of them. I want to win 8 of them. Now, the way I trade too, I risk more to earn a little less, right? So the trades you'll see me take, I'm putting up, well, now I use a lot more contracts, but if I were to use one contract, I would risk $80 to make $19. A lot of people wouldn't do that, but I'm willing to do that. But I'm willing to do that because I'm going to win 8 out of 10 times. And then the ones that I don't win, I'm not letting it go to zero. I'm not letting it go to zero. I might lose just 40 or 45. What determines when it's time to walk away for the day? So a question for you, Nietzsche, I would ask you is, what exactly is your trading strategy? Because if you have a strategy and your strategy has been back tested, right? That's the most important thing here. Your strategy has been back tested and right, using the most recent like 5 years or so, how that strategy is supposed to play out, then whether you win or lose per day, it shouldn't even bother you because you should already have an idea of like, okay, this is what it's going to be. So if you're asking yourself when it's time to walk away, my question to you is your trading strategy truly back tested? And do you actually have results for the last several years of how your strategy plays out? Because if you already know how it plays out, you gotta put in the time. You gotta keep playing. You gotta keep playing. So this is a question for you, is just to maybe go back to the drawing board. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Please don't think of it as a bad thing. But I want you to have, you know, and I want to show you guys my strategy, but you know, there's what, 10 people in here? I guess probably not too bad. Let me pull out a stock. Let me put out another stock. So I don't want to put out my main artillery, but let me pull out on a stock that won't bother nobody. NVIDIA. All right, I'm gonna let you guys look at my NVIDIA in the money strategy. All right. So let me read this disclaimer because I don't want you guys copying me. All right, this report was completed by LaSalle Nungu, all rights reserved. LaSalle Nungu, this document is the intellectual property of me, LaSalle Nungu, and is protected under international copyright laws. No part of this report may be reproduced, distributed, transmitted in any form by any means, including photocopying, recording, or electronic or mechanical methods without the prior written permission of the creator, except in case of brief quotations and body critical reviews, blah, 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 permitted by copyright law. Okay, so read that. All right, so here's my strategy, okay, for NVIDIA. This is for NVIDIA. All right. All right. And again, you have created an executive summary, performance matrix. You've gone through, you know, what's necessary for you to have. This is a strategy I have printed out. When I want to go in NVIDIA, I look and make sure this is consistent. All right. So my strategy achieves consistent win rates of 86 to 96%, with over 100 trading opportunities considered annually. The strategy employs a deepen the money call debit spread, which are bull call spreads, following any decline of 20.25% or greater, holding positions for a single day to capture mean reversion patterns. Okay, so my win rate is going to be around 87%. Okay, assuming I go 3% in the money, I can increase it to 96% if I go deeper to 5% in the money. Right? Annual trade frequency is about 107%, 100 trades a year that I get the opportunity to do this. Okay? My back test period was 9 years. I took data from 2017 to 2026. There were 973 trades going and analyzed. All right? So the entry trigger, a daily decline in NVIDIA of 0.25%. Okay? The idea is that I enter a position at the market close when NVIDIA's daily return reaches, okay, 0.25% or lower, right? This exactly happens about 107 times per year based on the data that I entered, okay? My rationale, it captures temporary weakness in a fundamentally strong stock with consistent recovery patterns. Here's the idea, and here's the setup, all right? Toward the close, we're going to do a long call with a strike price that's 3% below the current price. We're going to do a short call that's 3 to 5% below the long strike for optimal spread. Okay? It's a moderate risk, but it's got high profit potential. Right? So there's a conservative setup, and then there's a primary setup. All right? Exit strategy. We're going to close the position the very next day, because the idea is that we're looking for NVIDIA to bounce or stay the same, but not necessarily continue to sell off. Has it sold off before? Yes. That's why it's 80-something%. It's not guaranteed. Okay? It's not guaranteed. All right? Profit potential, 60 to 80% of the maximum spread value when reached intraday. Okay? Stop loss, we don't really need the stop loss. Okay? All right? And then again, let's look at the historical performance during this doing the strategy, okay? 2017, if you'd started doing it, 100 wins, 91% win rate. We had a strong bull market that year. 2018, 109 trades, you won 95 of them. 2019, 100 trades, you won 96 of them. 2020, 107 trades, you won 93 of them. See what I'm saying? So you see how this is my strategy. See what I'm saying? So if you tell me what are you going to do for this stock, I can show you this report and tell you this is I got to stick in the game. I got to keep playing because I'm not going to win every trade, but I'm going to win a lot of trades. All right? So what I want you to do is I want you to go into the lab, and I know it's kind of hard because you have a day job, and I get it. But I want you to get to a point where you can do something like this. You can, I don't want to say I'll let you steal this, but I've kind of given it to you now. So this is something you can memorize, or you can go back and replay it. But here's the conservative strategy, okay? Because remember, I gave you the 5% in the money and then the 3%. Again, my strategy requires you to put up more to earn less. So for this strategy, depending on where the Black-Scholes is from the pricing on that on NVIDIA, you might have to put up 300 to make 110. But I'm cool with that. I'm cool with breaking spending 300 to make 100. If I'm going to have 87%, 95% chance to make that trade win for me. All right? So 5% earns more, but you're going to have to put more money up. So, I'm not going to, go 5% when 3% is, it's kind of almost the same a little bit, the win rates. It's not too far. All right? It's not too far. Okay? Strategy advances. Exceptional win rates, high frequency, all right? Market resilience, NVIDIA-specific edge, right? Leverages fundamental data and AI data center growth, okay? So it's one of those things where now, I'm putting it out there for you to read because I want you to kind of see where the thought process needs to be, going into your trades. So when I say I already know what's going to happen, that's what I mean. I already know what's going to happen. At 85 to 86%. Now NVIDIA, it's an up day, so I can't do this strategy, right? NVIDIA is having an up day, so I'm not doing this strategy. But now look at when NVIDIA had red days. So I'll just point it to you because I pulled the strategy every single time. This was a loss, okay? Because I don't win every single time. This was a loss. But you go back and see, that was a win, or depending on how down we were. But that was a win. That was a win. That was a win. Okay, that one came back, and actually we were higher. It was a win because it opened up. It opened up higher, so I sold because sometimes I don't like to hold into the close. All right, so that was a win, and you're not actually supposed to hold it into the next day's close. You're supposed to hold it into the next day's open, because by the next day, the time value on the option is basically nil. Unless you're stupid enough to hold into the close. Okay. All right. Here's another one. Next day was a win. Here's another one. Next day was a win. Didn't trade that one. Next day, I don't remember. What was that day? The 8th? I don't remember if I played it on the 8th. I don't think I played it on the 8th. But, I don't believe I played it on the 8th. All right? But obviously that strategy won't work on NVIDIA because it's today on NVIDIA because it's up. It's up. And I don't have a strategy for NVIDIA on up days. Okay. I understand, man. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it, man. But you'll get there. It was all Chinese to all of us at one point. It was all Chinese to all of us at one point. It was all Chinese to all of us. Yeah, yeah, Big Onk. I saw your comment, by the way, Big Onk, on that Diddy shit. Yeah. Okay. Well, Nitya, just because we've got time, how exactly are you trading though? I'm just kind of curious. Are you just kind of looking at the setup in terms of price action? Let me know. Interesting comment, but yeah, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, a lot of people aren't willing to, to really break down their strategy to a point, because that's what, if you've ever worked at a financial institution, right? Because I learned how to do that when I went to work at Bank of America, and then they told me I couldn't do my show no more, and I had to quit. But when you go to Bank of America and you put up, like, hey, this is what I'd like to do, you got to go create a report like that. So they showed me how to do those reports, how to put them together, and then you have meetings at the end of the week, and you're like, okay, I want to present XYZ for us to do for tomorrow or whatever. So that's what these financial institutions are doing. These black boxes are programmed with strategies that are in place with data going back to the 19. Well, it depends on the stock. It depends on the stock, right? Because the stocks that have been trading for a long time, they'll go back that long. But stocks that are like AI based or anything, they'll go back to a certain period, right? So, for example, Nvidia, I would never input data into a strategy prior to 2017, because prior to 2017, you're talking about a completely different company, a company that was on like doing gaming graphics cards and following what game was hot at the time, and you know what I'm saying. It was Nvidia was a completely different company, so I would not use data from prior to that. At 2017, we've got the introduction of artificial intelligence. We've got uh, Bitcoin cryptocurrency. We've got a diversification of the business to where I can say, okay, I can use that data for today. Right? I can use that data to today, but nothing. I'm not going to put in 2008 Nvidia data, 2009. That's it's trash. It's trash. I'll take 3 trades on a momentum stock on the 5-minute chart. Very simple, above VWAP. Looking at price action. Okay. Okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're doing, and for a long time that was what was taught on here, on social media and stuff. But again, when I don't really want to go beat up that strategy because that's what you use. But if I were you, I'd stop spending. I'd stop spending any more time doing that, and look for something that gives you a higher probability than what you're doing right now for success. Trading on a 5-minute chart. Because I know you want money every day, but there are ways to make money every day, like I just showed you, right? Like I just showed you, but you're not trading a 5-minute chart. There's not enough information on a 5-minute chart for you to make a trade on. It's not enough information. Okay? There's not enough information on there. What you what you may be seeing on the 5-minute chart is probably, just a momentary pullback, momentary advancement in the stock. Yeah. I've been able to average 30 to 50 bucks a day so far. Oh, okay. All right. So if you're, oh, no, okay. So if it's making you money, but to be really, I've been losing consistently for the past 8 years. Okay. So you need to increase your win rate. What you're saying is, I make money once in a while, but my win rate isn't high enough to where it's consistent income over a period of time. Yeah, you need to find a strategy that's going to increase your win rate. That's why I was talking about earlier, these guys that lose 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 trades, I can't do it. What's the, when I enter on the red day? It'll be a 2-day. It'll be 2 days. It'll be 2 days. It'll be 2 days. I'm pretty sure it's 2 days. Let me go back and go. Pretty sure it's 2 days. You got me second guessing now because my brain is on QQQ right now. Because QQQ is kind of irritating me a little bit. But I believe it's going to hold. Yeah, there you go, right here. Yeah, it's 2 days. I thought so. I thought it was 2 days. I thought it was 2 days. So I was right. It's 2 days. Okay, it's 2 days. All right. And of course, strike selection is 3% below the current price. All right. And then the spread width, and you see my suckers are wide too. 3 to 5%. The reports are 3 to 5, so my suckers are wide. Obviously, if you don't have a lot of money, you got to play in close, but then, the risk reward is kind of like, you know, may look a little crazy to you. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I don't mind you guys taking that one because, there's more than enough money to be made in NVIDIA over the next, 5, 10 years. Trust me. There's more than enough money for everybody. You know, there are not enough. No, companies can't have enough of their technology. Right now, we're going sideways, but we're about to break out of NVIDIA here very, very soon. Today's price action was exactly what we needed to see. But we gotta get out of here. So I don't want anything having to do with the stock right now until it's out of here because it's failed us quite a few times. We had basically the same candle back in December, just day after Christmas. Was that the day after Christmas, or a couple days before, something like that? Okay, but yeah, this I don't want to be anywhere in here. Love to see it out because once we get out of there, it's done some things that look really good outside of that. So once Nvidia pops out, definitely look at some long-term trades. And I think I do have a long-term strategy for Nvidia. Do I have a long-term strategy for it? Hold on. Let me wait. I don't want to show you guys that fast. That's okay. Let me take a look. The trigger prior week +2. Uh, Historical analysis. Just hang with me. I'll show it to you guys if it makes. Okay. Win rate was 85 to 90% with about 25 to 30 trades a year. Even during a bear market, it did really well, 78%. I guess I could share this with you guys. All right, let me show you guys. So this was one that I wrote also for NVIDIA. The problem I had with this is because it wasn't. Hold on. Let me just say something. NVIDIA had been struggling these last couple months, and it has.